It's a new low for the Aam Aadmi Party. After a month of bickering, two of their founder leaders, Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan, have been ejected from the national executive of the party. The larger message here, Arvind Kejriwal, the Aam Aadmi Party chief, will brook no dissent.
They are founder members of the Aam Aadmi Party, once inseparable from Arvind Kejriwal. Today, the fall of Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan seems complete. Ejected from the national executive of the Aam Aadmi Party, the two leaders who have clashed with Arvind Kejriwal may well be on their way out of the party once disciplinary proceedings against them are complete. At today's stormy meeting, Arvind Kejriwal made it clear he would rather quit than work with Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan, who he called traitors. Mr Yadav and Mr Bhushan want the AAP leadership to restore inner party democracy and have listed 5 key demands. Their detractors say their goal all along has been to eject Arvind Kejriwal from the leadership of the party. Yogendra Yadav says his removal from the national executive was illegal. Mr Kejriwal's supporters have a diametrically different take.
247 हाथ उठाकर 247 लोगों ने इस प्रस्ताव को सहमति दी। 8 लोगों ने इस प्रस्ताव के विरोध में अपना मत रखा और उन्होंने भी हाथ उठाकर 8 लोगों ने हाथ उठाकर इस प्रस्ताव के विरोध में अपना मत रखा। 2 लोगों ने लिखित रूप से अपना विरोध प्रकट किया और 54 लोगों ने इस प्रस्ताव के पक्ष में या विपक्ष में कोई भी मत नहीं रखा।
आज जब आप वहां घटनास्थल पे पहुंचे, ये जो कापसेड़ा गांव में रिसोर्ट था जहां पे हमारी मीटिंग्स हुई हैं, वहां हमें देखा कि पहले से ही बड़ा सा क्राउड इकट्ठा था। कल शाम तक तमाम एमएलए लोगों को खबर गई थी, निर्देश गया था कि हर एक को बसें भर भर के लोगों को लाना है और मेरे और प्रशांत जी के खिलाफ नारे लगवाने हैं। आज जब मैं उस मीटिंग में गया, बाहर योगेंद्र यादव मुर्दाबाद के नारों से मेरा स्वागत हुआ। आज हॉल में एक व्यक्ति नहीं था जिसको हम पहचानते थे। प्रोफेशनल बॉक्सर्स लगाए गए थे हॉल के अंदर और जैसे ही इन्होंने रमजान चौधरी ने कहा दोनों की बातें सुन लीजिए, इनको घसीटते हुए हॉल से बाहर लेके गए, इनको मारा।
Many volunteers of the Aam Aadmi Party are stunned by what happened today. Both Prashant Bhushan and Yogendra Yadav were members of the core team of the Aam Aadmi Party that helped mold its strategy and policies. Now that they find themselves at the periphery of a party they helped form, many are questioning if the Aam Aadmi Party is moving away from the very principles that made it an instant hit among the masses.
Well, yes, I have been telling him this, that he has dictatorial tendencies and he needs to curb those. But unfortunately, instead of curbing those tendencies, what he has displayed today, in order to very ruthlessly stifle any dissent and ruthlessly stop any discussion or opposition to what he wants.
Sources indicate the disciplinary committee will soon be forming a report on them and then it will be left on party supremo Arvind Kejriwal to take the final call. In this high-pitched meet today, the inevitable happened. Those who question the means of Arvind Kejriwal are out, but not without doing enough damage to the party's image.
With Sonal Mehrotra in New Delhi, Keith Yangre for NDTV.
Well, Prashant Bhushan joins us now on this very disturbing day in the history of the Aam Aadmi Party. Mr. Bhushan, do you have any real options ahead of you? It seems now that there will be disciplinary proceedings and it seems quite clear that at some stage you will be removed from the party. What options do you have?
You see, after what happened today and what has been happening in the past few days, today we have descended to a new low. We had been seeing a violation of our ethical principles, induction of criminal candidates. We had been seeing all kinds of lies, just complete lies being spoken by senior functionaries and members of the Political Affairs Committee of the party. But today what we saw was something even lower than that, where a whole meeting of the National Council was not just stage managed, where the party's Lokpal was told to stay away from the meeting, and because they said that his coming to the meeting would create a situation of confrontation, forcing him to write back to the party saying that what are you talking about? Why should my coming to the meeting create a confrontation? I want to be there to see orderly conduct of the meeting, which is what we had requested the party. And
Mr.
instead
Bhushan,
of what we saw...
Mr. Bhushan, I understand what you're saying and we've just reported that in our story. I'm asking you a simple question. For whatever the reasons are, you appear to be now on your way out of the Aam Aadmi Party. Is that something you have come to accept?
It's clear that that we cannot work with these kind of people, with Arvind and his coterie, because they have shown a proclivity and a propensity to resort to even hooliganism and gundaism, which is not the kind of thing that we are prepared to bear with from our own colleagues and party members. Now the question is, you see, this party is not the property of one person or some coterie. What happened today, what was done today was totally illegal, unconstitutional. It can be, if we want, we can challenge it in the courts.
But then why aren't you doing that,
Commission,
why aren't you doing that? Why haven't you announced a decision to that effect?
See, the question is, we'll have to discuss it and decide it amongst a lot of colleagues. Because the question is, do you want to enter into this kind of legal fight with these kind of people? Or do you want to just carry forward the spirit of the party into something else? I mean, this is something which we will have to
So what do you mean carry forward the spirit of the party into something else?
Well, it's possible that we are planning to call a convention, a national convention of a lot of people from our party as well as from the National Council, members of the party, as well as other people who are not even members of the party, other respectable people from people's movements, intellectuals, etc. We will discuss with them and decide as to what should be, what is the appropriate.
Are you talking about a breakaway faction
in these circumstances?
Mr. Bhushan, are you looking at a breakaway faction
all
of the Aam
options,
Aadmi Party?
All options are open. We will have to discuss and decide as to what is the most appropriate option to exercise in these circumstances.
But do you foresee a scenario where you, Yogendra Yadav, and your supporters can be a viable alternate political force, alternate not just to the BJP and Congress, but also to the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi?
You see, the reason why the Aam Aadmi Party was formed was because it was to practice a kind of alternative politics which was on the principles of transparency, accountability, Swaraj in a party democracy, etc. Unfortunately, those who are currently in control, that is Arvind and his coterie, have taken the party completely away from those founding principles and are seeking to convert it into a conventional political party. Now, the people who have supported this party have supported it in the hope and belief that this is a vehicle for alternative politics.
No, but sir, what about the charisma
there is a large
of Arvind
constituency
Kejriwal
out
in
there in the
voters?
country.
What about the charisma of Arvind Kejriwal in attracting voters? If you were to form, because I read you loud and clear, sir, you are not close to the option or the idea of forming an alternative political party or force in Delhi. Where would you get that kind of leadership which appeals to people in the same way that Kejriwal's leadership has appealed?
See, it's not, this party was not formed for Delhi. It was not meant to become a regional Delhi-based party that Arvind wants to make it into. This was to transform, this was a national party to transform the face of politics in the entire country. There is the reason why people supported Arvind, not because just of his personalities. He certainly has a magnetic personality and he has a good connect with voters. But that's not the main reason why people supported the Aam Aadmi Party.
That the Aam Aadmi Party can be catapulted from Delhi to the national stage in double quick time. A lot of people would say that after the 49-day fiasco, it was important, and the fact that in the national elections, nothing terrible, nothing really went in the favor of the Aam Aadmi Party. It was more about consolidating Delhi before jumping into the national stage. Aren't you getting ahead of yourself?
I'm not saying that we can come to power instantly, or that we need to come to power instantly or at all. The object of coming to power or getting a large number of seats, etc., is secondary to the objective of being a vehicle of alternative clean politics in this country.
I understand.
That's the main objective of forming this party.
I understand. Last question to you. If you were to form another political party, how many from the Aam Aadmi Party would join you? Because today's numbers showed that you didn't have much support. Just a handful of people voted in favor of you.
No, that's not correct at all. In fact, this was a totally fabricated kind of voting.
So, assuming
a large number of members of the National Council were not allowed to come in.
Understood.
A large number of people who were inside were not members of the National Council.
Okay.
All these MLAs who were not members of the National Council
so
and
then
who
spell it out
indulged in
for
the
us.
worst kind of hooliganism there.
I understand what you're saying, and this is your allegation, but the point I'm trying to ask you is, if you were to form a breakaway faction of the Aam Aadmi Party, call it something else, I don't know, how many people would support you from the present leadership of the Aam Aadmi Party? Senior leaders is what I'm saying.
I have no idea. We will have to see that. In any case, that's not an option that we are exercising right now. I am saying that that's also an option which is available on the table. There are many options. One is to retrieve this party from and bring it back to its rails, retrieve it from this strangulating control of this Supremo and his coterie. The second is to create an alternative party which is true to its founding principles, to the original founding principles of the party. The third is not to be involved in electoral politics and do just politics of people's movements. All options are open, and we will have to see. But one thing that is clear is that we cannot work with these kind of people.